Hello guys, how are you? I am starting a gorgeous new project that I'm doing for myself, along with that other little dress that I did in my my story in textiles. I got this as well because I like doing like samplers, but the edge here sort of frays a fair bit, and I want to stitch the outside panel, like the outside bits and pieces, before I start hand stitching. So I want to do the letters in couching with this, so I'll do some of that, and then I want to stitch the bottom half there in stem stitch, and then the top I'll do that, and then, you know, stitch some of these little bits and pieces. I think once that's down you should be able to still see it. I'm going to put that on the top, and I've got that there, and I'm umming and ahhing about that. I've got another piece that I can use if I'm not happy, because I'm going to want to do, I hope you can see that, I want to do black swans, and I'm going to do that in stitching because in Ballarat in Australia, around the lake, there is a lot of black swans, and it's very like a Ballarat symbol. So I thought I'll stitch these down in the black and a bit of grey and whatever, because you want to do some stitching, but I just sort of don't really like the word souvenir, and you know, I thought I'd just colour in the heart, and I got this fabric because it's got a little bit of black in there, and the blue and the pink, so the black will match that a bit. So I will see how I go. But what I want to do for now is today I'm going to proceed to like cut and, you know, sew on the side. So I've picked out the fabrics, and these, some of you may recognize some of this fabric. It's from when I did that Sanderson vase, and I had quite a few little kit bits left, and I thought I really love that fabric. Plus I've got this fabric from something else as well, and yeah, so I thought I think that would probably work. So I've got this other piece here that I wouldn't mind sticking on top. That's why I'm going to have that, but I want to have some of that showing. I just really love the colour, and I love this edging, so that's going to go on the top of it, and then some of these pieces will go on top as well. Just trying to figure, do I go the width of this, or do I go the width of that? Means I have to add another little bit onto there. How wide is that? Got my ruler. I'm going to do some cutting on. A little bit over 12, so 12 and probably 12 and a half inches, which actually works out perfect because it means it'll be 12 inches across in when it's being sewed down. So yeah, I'll get this out, put that away because it's very glary. Doesn't seem to want to stay away. Okay, when it comes to quilting, it's a lot of mathematics. Okay, it is 8.5 inches across, so it'll end up being 8 inches by the time you, because we use 1/4 inch, and that is approximately 11.5, so we end up being 8 by 11. So so if we do that, that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. so maybe they have to be 2.5 inch strips to allow for everything else. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I usually cut the side. Two and a half. I wonder if this is straight. I might just make it straight anyway. Get my little... No, this is not sharp enough. See how this one goes. I've got to stand up for this job. I think I need some new blades. Can be so annoying when they're not sharp. I'll try again with this one. Okay, we'll go 2.5. Two and a half. There we go. Maybe it would help if the blade was out. Aha. So that's 2.5 that way. And what did I have on the... I had that one. Okay. On the top. Might straighten some of that. See, this is what happens when you're having sharp blades. Makes all the difference. Okay, 2.5 going in that way. Means I just miss out on one of these, but don't worry, I'm going to keep those. So I'm going to attach that to that on the sewing machine, and then what do we have on the other side? I wonder if this is exactly 2.5 anyway. Almost. Okay. 2.5. I'm going to go over a tad and just straighten it up. That's pretty well perfect estimation of how big it's going to be. Okay, so that's on the bottom, and then I did this one on the top. Do a slight straight edge. We'll end up with some fluffy bits, as you always do. You can tell it's an old mat. Seen better days. Need to get a new one. Okay. And then 2.5 on that side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this bit onto that bit. I might sew it there and then that bit onto that bit, and I'll be back. Okay, I am back. So I'll just stitch them together and then iron, stitch them on there, and I always iron to the darker side, so when you put it on there you haven't got dark bits showing on the inside of that. So which one have we got next? B. I want to sew that and that, and then hopefully, I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, yep, pretty much that's going to go on the top. So I will cut them 2.5 inches, that one and that one, sew them on there, and then I will be back. Okay, you can see that on there. Don't think you can see that on here. Oh, well, you'll see it when it comes back anyway. So cut them 2.5 inches, pretty much. It's really hard to see with this light. That's one. Now I'm going to go, I might go for the pink. 2.5. Not perfectly straight, but it's going to be sewing anyway. Okay, so, and this one 2.5. Be a bit long anyway. Okay, so I'll sew them on and I'll be back. Okay, well, I think it's a much better size to be working with, and these edges, because I mean they're already, you can see they're already fraying, so I've got something more to hold on to when I do stitching. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these little bits here, and I'm going to, what I did, I just got some light heat bond, and I traced it on that side, because when you put it on and then you cut it out, because when you take it on, you know, you iron on onto the fabric and then you turn it around, it becomes the right side. So I'm going to sew those on. I might wait with that one. I'll just see. It doesn't look too bad. I think the blue and the pink and everything, but I'll be back. I'm just going to iron them down. Okay, I'm back again. For some reason this silly thing didn't want to stitch down, go down. Sometimes the heat and bond, in the light heat and bond, can be really painful. So what I'm going to do, firstly, put my chair up. What I'm going to do for now is this an right colour. Yeah, it's not too bad. You can, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see the lines and bits and pieces here. So I'm just going to give it a quick whip stitch. I'm going to come back with all the other bits and pieces, and then I'm going to stitch around it with just a satin stitch. So pick a nice and thin needle. This is like a vintage thread. I'll probably sew the may not need that. I'm probably going to sew around that bit first. Now I am probably going to quilt this piece as well. So what I will do is I'll just hand stitch all this down. So I might start up here, and then I'm going to get some wadding and all that kind of stuff, and then hold it down with maybe some small seed stitches in between, or stitch in the ditch, as they say. This is just to hold it down at this point. Really love doing Jessie Chorley embroideries. They're rather sweet. So, and because it's got the outside on there, it does give me a little bit more to hang on to, and it's less likely to fray on the edges. It feels like it's coming undone, so which is good. Sometimes because you've got heat and bond on there. Now any of those little fray edge bits will get covered when I do a stem stitch around the outside, because that will cover it. Okay. Quite nice fabric this. A bit of a pain to sew with because it, you know, some fabrics can fray. This one's not too bad. I deliberately picked it because it was nice and thin, and I'd be able to see the lines underneath, which is what I wanted. So even that, see how that's coming up? Yeah, if you have the iron too hot, which it was, it just doesn't go down sometimes. So if I do that first, at least that's down. Now I'm going to go over there and just stitch this down with a very quick little whip stitch. Which you've all seen before. So I could possibly just turn it off, which I may do, and I'll come back when I've stitched it all down. I will. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, while I was there, I stitched down that, and I sort of like took it up to the window and stitched, and drew on those lines. So what I'm going to do is going to get this thread here. I think this thread works well, and do some stitches. That. I'll continue to use this just because it's nice sharp one. Decent size thread, but probably is a tad too long, but well, at least it'll work. Now you probably can't see it from where you are, and I might zoom in a tad. Okay, but you've got these tiny little stitches, and I quite like that you can see them. At this point I'm umming and ahhing whether I just do a whole heap of really close satin stitches. I think I noticed Jessie Chorley does that, because I'm going to do satin stitch here, so maybe I should do that first and then decide whether I whether I'm going to do a stem stitch around there or maybe a satin stitch. So I'm just going to do a running stitch with this part. Just adds a little bit of texture. Do it this way. I'm going to use that because it's got a little bit of heat and bond underneath it. It can be a little bit thick to go through, so I'm just going to do a backing stitch. I could probably do a stem stitch, but a backing stitch is a little flatter, and if I do a stem stitch around the outside, that'll be a different stitch and sort of highlight the outside a little more. I'm glad I used a checkered fabric, actually. I quite like it, and it's rather cute. Can't go past, not checkered, gingham is always nice. Yeah, so this is rather cute. These happen to be on the special on Jessie Chorley's what's the name, website at the moment. They're £10 each. I don't know, it's got sale, so I don't know whether what price they normally were, but I just got it because I quite like doing the ABC. And I've got an ABC thing somewhere else that I need to finish, so hopefully might even work on that one. It's got a couple of little birds on there. Some of you may remember it if you've been on my channel long enough. I was lucky enough to find it in a thrift shop for really quite cheap, and it actually come with some threads and fabrics, which was good. So yeah, don't know where that is. Have to go and look for it. Okay. Going to be a little longer, but I'd rather not see all the stuff, just in case you can see the thread at the back of it. I'll go back up to the top again and catch it in on itself, because that's what you do. Oh, good Lord. Okay. There we go. Okay, cut that off again. You know, and it makes it a little bit hard to thread it in. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough today. It's very, very, the weather here is very rainy, and we got high wind warning, so it hasn't been too bad so far, but you know, the day hasn't finished. So, which is unusual weather for spring. So just having a few little bits and pieces here, and I quite like how it is not all together. See how that's sort of off center a little bit. I might just make this a little bit longer. Okay, and then I'm going to go back again and maybe go around. Sorry. I'll go around this. So see, here we go. Doing a stem stitch around this, whether it's going to hold it down and hold in the fluffy bits, We'll see. If I grab some of the actual fabric, it might. We will see how we go. Okay. I'm glad I went with a different colour inside. I think it looks really cute. Bringing out the blues and all that kind of stuff that's in the actual piece. I went with the pinks on the bow and the hearts and all that because I'm going to do the blue on the ABCs, and that'll be done in couching. So I'll probably show you how to do, you know, a couple of letters, but after that I'll probably do it behind the scenes because there's quite a few letters to do. Whole alphabet's worth. Yeah, and it'll be a bit boring, you watching me do the whole lot. Okay. Hopefully I'm in camera. I'm to catch some of those fluffy bits. Did manage to catch some of them. Okay. Probably could do a stem stitch around, I don't know, we'll see how we go. Okay, well, that's been held down, which is good, and it sort of raises it up a little bit. It's kind of cute. So yeah, so that's the difference. See how the stem stitch feels a little thicker and the back stitch sort of makes it flat, which is what I wanted in the background. I quite like that. Okay, well, I'm going to continue doing stitching in the background, and there we go, and I will turn it off for now and come back for a next part. It's rather cute. Okay, I'll see you later. A minute. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.